It's been more than 4 years since the United States has invaded Iraq. In spite of heroic efforts by our men and women in uniform, and despite the huge cost in American lives and treasure, chaos and destruction continue to deepen in Iraq.
After 52 months, our troops and our security cannot afford the President's run-out-the-clock strategy. We have an opportunity and an obligation to change course in Iraq right now. We can remove our brave troops from the front lines of another country's civil war, a conflict we have no business policing and little chance to defuse.
We cannot continue to do what we are doing to the troops that we are sending over and over again. And as the young Army wife wrote to me recently, enough is enough.
July is off to a bloody start for U.S. forces in Iraq.
5 American soldiers were killed
when a large bomb exploded near their patrol in Baghdad.
More than 3,600 Americans have now died in the Iraq war.
63% of Americans are ready to withdraw.
Only 30% say they favor the war.
Public support for the war has reached a new low.
Today we're giving an opportunity for those that live in the heartland of our nation to speak to the President of the United States.
The whole point of our America Speaks Out on the War in Iraq website is to invite the American public to tell us how they feel about the war.
I'm against the Iraq war because I can't think of one good reason to be in it.
The cost of the war has been great for our congregations, synagogues, mosques, and houses of worship. We bury the dead and minister to the wounded and those whose lives will never again be whole.
We oppose this war because it's wrong. It is the wrong place, the wrong time, the wrong approach, and the wrong reasons. It is time to bring this war to an end. This Iraq war is a drain on our society, a drain on our world. It's a drain on our critical resources.
There needs to be so much done that would improve the lives of people in the Delta, and we're told it can't be done because all the federal funding is going to support the war in Iraq.
As we saw with Hurricane Katrina and the tornadoes in Kansas, we're not even able to deal with natural disasters at this point, let alone, God forbid, another terrorist attack.
There's often an overlap in our community between the folks who are police officers, volunteer firefighters, members of the National Guard, and both our funds and our folks are being stretched thin.
Some of my best officers and some of my best skilled personnel who are first responders at home are away at war.
Right now, the way that the military has been overstretched, it's become a national security issue.
Multiple deployments, repeated extensions, a lack of predictability, and diminished time at home between deployments continue to take their toll.
The community wasn't prepared for it, didn't realize it would last this long, didn't realize that people would be gone this long.
When you send troops out for 15 months at a time and you don't give them proper time to recover, recuperate, retrain, and reload, they're going to go back weaker the next time.
We are compounding those injuries when we extend the deployments. We're compounding those injuries when we shorten the time between deployments. We're compounding those injuries when we multiply deploy these people.
I thought after Vietnam that we had learned that there weren't going to be any more wars like that. I was so wrong.
Now we have more than 70% of the American people that support some form of withdrawal from Iraq.
We just need to take different steps, different approaches, and move beyond where we're at now.
Well, we really need to get out of Iraq. It's been a terrible disaster, and that we're going to be facing for many years to come.
I believe we entered it under false pretenses, and now we have to figure out how we're going to get out of it with our dignity upheld.
We need to get these young men and women out of that country as soon as possible and put the pressure and the responsibility on the Iraqi government.
It's time that we rethink what we're doing there. It's time to deal at a political level, not at a war level. It's time to stop.
You know, the president really needs to really open his ears and listen and see what's happening in this country, throughout this country. It's critically important.
We're fighting very, very hard to make sure that their voices are heard and that the right things are done. This is the time to do that, and we can do that.